So I wanted to talk today about factions mainly and what's going to happen when it comes to Rise of Iron. Now I believe they're going to be integrating factions into the game in a much bigger capacity for a couple of reasons, mainly being that there are Sparrows and Ghosts available for factions. Now I'm going to run through just some of the faction stuff that we already know pertaining to Destiny the game website, with all the little snippets of images and cropped images that they have of different weapons and such things. So let's get into it. Firstly, we can see obviously some Vanguard weapons. So we have a shotgun which was cropped in the top left hand corner and the full press released image of that shotgun. And obviously it's Vanguard, orange and blue. So definitely confirmed there's going to be some Vanguard weapons in the next expansion. And for the same reason we have a fusion rifle, which I assume is also going to be a Vanguard weapon just because it's got the same colours as the shotgun that we previously seen, but there's no distinctive V shape on this weapon, so it might not even belong to Vanguard, but I'm going to place it there for now. Next we have a bunch of weapons on screen. So as you can see, Future Warcourt scout rifle in the top left, some other scout rifles and a couple of ghosts. So first and foremost, the Future Warcourt scout rifle. Obviously factions will still have weapons available, and there's just something I wanted to point out. You know, there is weapons being shown from factions, and if they're doing that ahead of time where actually faction weapons are being focused on and faction stuff, then maybe factions are going to be integrated into a bigger capacity. Next up we have these two Amalon scout rifles in the bottom right hand corner. Now I just wanted to point this out. The foundry of these weapons is obviously Amalon, but they both have this distinctive mark on them of this like kind of scratched painting type of logo near the back. Maybe this is some sort of new faction for us to explore. I'm not saying that that's what it definitely is, but if you've already got the foundry of Amalon and then we have some strange logos on these weapons, it could point to something more than just maybe like, I don't know, like a raid weapon or something. Raid weapons usually look very unique. This is very interesting to me. And if you look at the scout rifle on the left, it actually has the colours of Dead Orbit, and you could argue that the scout rifle on the right has the colours of New Monarchy, kind of, because it's red. That's kind of a stretch, but you know, it's kind of strange that this logo's there. There could be some sort of Siva based weapon that is, they've taken the Amalon foundry and added to it using Siva technology, and that's more likely going to be the case than something like a new faction. But we do have two new ghosts. We already have seen the Siva infused ghost, which is probably more than likely going to come from a raid or some sort of endgame activity to do with the Siva technology. But there is two little cropped images of some ghosts. Now, we can all see the New Monarchy one, and that's the main point of this video, which I'm going to get into. But there is this very unique looking ghost. It has sort of like a camo skin across the two ghost points that come out from side to side, and then the other two are just grey. And this is very interesting because this doesn't seem to match up to anything we know so far in Rise of Iron, because it doesn't look like an Iron Lord type of ghost. It doesn't look like any of the factions we know. This is, in my opinion, the most interesting piece of information we have, that maybe some other faction is going to be involved, and on top of that, that factions are actually going to be put into the game in a bigger capacity because of the fact that they have ghosts. And you can see the New Monarchy one right here. That looks sexy. I cannot wait to see that. And on top of that, in the trailer, for a split second you see some Sparrows drive by. Now if you pause this at the correct time, you can see that the Sparrow itself is a New Monarchy Sparrow. Now this isn't going to be only exclusive to New Monarchy. There's going to be ghosts and Sparrows for the other factions too, but how do we get them? Is it just going to be a random package opening? I really hope it isn't, because I want to work towards getting these, like changing my faction every week to try and get the Dead Orbit one. And while that can be done through packages, I think quest lines would be much better to introduce in terms of faction integration, better than it used to be into the game. Make us actually go out and do nightfalls dressed in New Monarchy gear, and then you get some sort of reward or honor system or point system, which can then be added towards, I don't know, maybe buying this ghost. Or, you know, they could just have an expansive quest line where you can go through the history of New Monarchy and go and visit different places and learn about the faction, and in the end you're rewarded with said ghost or maybe a Sparrow. If it's just a random drop, I might feel a little bit cheated, but I'm still not going to complain, because having faction based items that aren't just armors and weapons is a massive plus for me with what they're going to do with Rise of Iron. So let me know what you think about these little snippets of weapons and images. Do you think that factions are going to have a bigger storyline, more quests, better items? I am looking forward to it if they do. Which is your favourite faction? Do you think they'll introduce new factions? Hit me up in the comments below and tell me what you think. Hit the like button if you wish to. I have been Easy Now, and you guys have been awesome. And what would be awesome is if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and of course that like button. You help me out so much with your support. I love you all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.